One day I'm gonna be a politician.
You're just dating him because he looks like me.
Is this like a double type of lifestyle that
18 million followers, like go listen to my blah, 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 blah. That shit does not work.
Right. You want some salami?
Um,
Taylor Bennett.
yeah.
We got Time After Youth coming on May 8th.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining me on this picnic right here.
Of course,
I
man,
decided
you're the
we're gonna
goat.
bring in some youth energy.
Let's do it, man. I'm excited,
you.
man. I appreciate it. This
Yeah.
whole setup is fire, bro.
Appreciate it.
Big fan of your work, man.
Thank you so much. You
Yeah.
too. You too.
Love,
Feel
bro.
free. We got snacks. We
I
got
was
Ritz
gonna
crackers.
say, I think I'm gonna get up on these crackers.
We get hungry out here. You know
Some
what
of
I'm
that
saying?
meat wrap.
For those of you guys that don't know, we got cheese. We got salami. We got Ritz crackers.
We got
Every
everything.
type of snack that you want, we have it.
We have it right here.
Time After Youth coming on May 8th.
Yes, sirski.
We have AdamnKilla coming on May 8th as well, influencer. Was there a strategy in dropping on the same day? Was it like a May 8th takeover type of day?
Yeah, for sure. So for folks who don't know, of course, like you mentioned, I manage AdamnKilla and some other artists. And Adam's like super, super hot right now. And like a big goal of mine since we first started working together was, you know, of course, making a lot of money, but also building a ticket history. So, you know, that's just like what a lot of artists do. So eventually you can move into those bigger showrooms
For sure.
and get the guarantees. And the thing about Adam, I always call him Adam because I've known Adam for so long. He's like a childhood friend of mine. But the thing about Adam is like he's so famous.
Yeah, he's taking
so
over.
Famous.
He's
Like,
taking
so
over.
Famous. Like I believe he's more famous than like so many, not just like artists, but just like celebrities, period. And my whole job as his manager is to be able to show people that. So to put him like, you know, on as many platforms or as many spaces, shows, things like that, so that, you know, the mainstream understands and they start, you know, wanting to invest and, you know, give him more opportunities that can help build his brand even more. So for me, we wanted to do a show in New York City.
Right.
And of course, I've been working on this project because I'm a recording artist as well.
Of course.
And
Broad shoulders, we all know that one.
you know, but of course I've been doing more management and especially working with Adam for like the last 2 years.
Right.
And I just thought it made a lot of sense for us to not only drop on May 8th, but to do a co-headliner at SOBs.
Especially before New York.
Exactly.
Right.
And to give it even more context, press runs are really important. So like I came up, of course, independent, and like everything is in New York. So like Apple is in New York, Spotify is in New York.
Of course.
Sirius is in New York. The Breakfast Club is in New York.
Yeah.
On the Radar is in New York.
That's the
Billboards
place.
are in New York. Y'all gonna see we're doing all of those things.
All over New
But
York. Let's do it.
The idea was to go there around the week of the release. We could, you know, also build the project, speak on the project the week while it's fresh, and then leading up to this huge show that we do at SOBs. So that was the ideal on dropping on the same day. Yeah.
So with AdamnKilla, you said you're pouring in a lot of investment, just attention-wise and stuff like that.
Yeah, timing-wise. Just
Exactly.
manage them. I don't like put my money into them.
Right, but
Adam makes a lot of money.
But
We
time,
make money
the
together.
time is the money, of course. You're right.
Exactly, there you go.
Right. You said you were childhood friends with him.
Yeah.
How did you first meet him?
So hilarious, craziest story. So me and Adam, one of my very good friends, childhood friends, at this point in our lives, I won't say her name, but well, she was like one of my first girlfriends, and we broke up. And this was like in like sixth grade. And when we broke up, she started dating Adam. And I remember I said for like hella months afterwards, I was like, "You're just dating him because he looks like me." And in like within Chicago, because we like I've known Adam, he's also one of my homies. But a lot of people have always said that about us, that we look like we're brothers. So that was like my first experience meeting Adam. And then just throughout the years, Chance and Vic are like a part of Save Money. You know, I'm a part of Save Money, but I was like in a younger group, and we were called New Tribe. And then New Tribe was like in the same generation as OSG. Which was Outsiders Gang, which is a bunch of my homies, but then also people like Lucky, who I grew up with, who grew up with Adam, one of my good friends. And we just all grew up together. We used to hang out at Hyde Park together and go downtown, and go to parties and just do all types of shit. So that's how I know Adam. I've known him forever.
Shit. I've seen a video actually. It was Lucky. I think it was Chance might have been in the video.
Chance,
they were freestyling and stuff like that.
I remember that day we were outside of the Music Garage, and everybody knows about the Music Garage. I think Lucky might have talked about this too, and I think Adam talked about it. Kid Can used to be in there, and like a lot of GBE folks recorded there, and like me and Chance recorded a lot of music there, and like a lot of West Side 290 artists came up in the Music Garage and still do. But yeah, that was the spot.
You want some salami?
I'm low-key chilling.
You're chilling?
Yeah. I think that cracker, low-key, the cracker fooled me up.
The cracker's good.
Cracker turned me up. Right.
Time After Youth is coming down on May 8th.
Yeah.
What inspired this youthful energy? Was there like a specific spark or moment that kind of...
I think for sure. So the thing about Time After Youth is that it is a project that very much so is nostalgic, but also to what you were just saying is like throughout the last few years, not just as an artist, but also as a businessman, I've realized the impact that a lot of my counterparts like Keith and Dirk and Herb and Chance and myself had on the current generation, which is really not that much younger than us, or maybe not them, but me, you know, a few years. And I think the ideal that I started to see was how much it shaped our environments and a lot of these kids' environments, you know, and also how much respect, but also, you know, inspiration these kids have found within us as Chicago artists and individuals. And I think that there's a space that we kind of missed, not just as a culture, as a community, and not just in hip hop, but I think overall when it comes to the connection of generations. So like being able to create music that your dad can listen to with you, that your mom can listen to with you, and kind of making music that more so champions everybody versus making music or making a song that just champions yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like there were moments that a lot of these artists had, like Keith, what I don't like, or like Herb, with Computers Freestyle. And, you know, like all these different artists had these moments where I remember chanting these words with all of my homies in our teenage years. And now at this space, I feel like there's a due diligence for me, or a duty for me to do my due diligence in terms of servicing the younger community and creating those moments, but also from a perspective that gives experience and understanding. So Time After Youth is a project that I wanted to make for my generation, for a younger generation, and also that showcases a lot of the things that I've learned from my OGs, so Twista and you know, Steve Stout and Dame Dash.
I saw you were with Dame Dash today.
Yeah, Dame Dash, that's one of my mentors, and that's another thing too, is like ever since I've been young, not just in New York, but especially in Chicago, like John Monopoly, John, like Don C, like a lot of these people are like my big brothers, and Corey Gilkey, Leaders, 1354, Joe Freshka is like my big brother. Like a lot of these people I grew up with and I used to go to for advice, and these people have been the person that I want to be through this album. You get what I'm saying? So
of course. Do you feel like if you're representing yourself as a rapper, but you're an educated businessman, you're very well spoken, is this like a double type of lifestyle that you think more artists should kind of embrace, educate themselves on the business side of things?
Absolutely. Like I think like no matter what you do, you should understand the infrastructure of your business. And I mean that for like, if you're a janitor at a McDonald's, like you should understand like this is what time the manager comes in, this is what time these people come in. And I know that that might sound crazy, but the reason why I say that is that I think the ideal or the goal from everybody is to be a boss. You know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. And I think a lot of times I use that example because especially within the music industry, as artists, we get caught in the concept of being the entertainer. And we never really understand and especially don't handle the business. And there's so much money within the business, but also there's so many opportunities for people that look like us within our community that have a better understanding of the product or the conversation or how to properly pitch,
for
you know what I'm saying, and market our music.
I want to ask you too, AdamnKilla also he's very unique. He's very unique with his videos and his personality. What was it like to grow up with him and then now see him doing stuff like this that is obviously working very well? He grew millions of followers super fast.
Like I said, I don't have to say it. People know this. I look just like Adam, right? So when I decided I was going to manage him, and I've known him, again, like I mentioned, since like I was a kid. When I decided I was going to manage Adam, it was because people kept tagging me in these videos that he was doing of him going to these places and rolling his head around, and they kept being like, Taylor, is this you? Right? LMAO. So at first, like I used to just comment on it and say funny things, and you know, it's my boy, so I would message him and you know, just be like, because also I think the thing about it too, let me say this before I even explain it, is I think I have a different perspective than a lot of other artists and musicians and rappers when it comes to content and content creators. Like I'm a big fan of streamers and podcasts, and like I have a lot of friends that make fucked up videos about rappers, like, and I watch them. And I'm not saying like I support that shit, but I am saying like I understand the business of like back in the day. You know, there were magazines and tabloids that used to, and they still are, but nobody buys physical press, like physical media, unfortunately, anymore.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is now covered by the blog era, and the blog era is not really what it was. So people just like me want to watch it on TikTok and on Instagram.
Right.
And I'm all with that shit. I'm all about that shit, and like I fully support it. So saying that to say, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I understand the marketing concept behind what you're doing, because I see that you're getting 9,000 reels made off of this song because you're posting this and people are using it. And then from that conversation, I think about a few months later, I started to pay more attention, and I noticed that Adam had like these followers that were like under his comments that were like saying like King Adam, like we love Adam, like
King of Chicago.
Like, literally, not even just King of Chicago, but like King of Chicago, but
of the
all
world
these different
too.
things of the world, exactly. And I was like, he didn't like still at this point, like he had less followers than me. I have like 300K. He has like almost 2 million.
Yeah,
followers
he's
on
the
Instagram.
social media guy.
Back then, like Adam might have had like maybe like 50 or 60K. But the whole thing that I saw and I thought was interesting is no other artist, including myself at that time, had people saying these crazy things under it. And at first, what I thought was funny is I kind of thought that it was like a knack, like it was like a thing that people were doing, like as like a, you know, how people would be like, I fell on my knees at like Walmart.
Like, just like joking around,
or like nice try Diddy, or like crazy ass shit on it. I thought it was like some shit like that, right?
Yeah,
like,
they were just like kind of poking at him.
Because I look at all that shit and I think some of that shit is hilarious.
Yeah, of course.
And I thought that was hilarious, so that's why I hit him up and I was like, yo, you got all these followers, you know, what are you, you know, really working on? What are you doing? He was like, I'm working on this project, I'm working on these songs. And at that point, he had started doing like these meetups. And I was looking at his meetups, he would like go to these high schools and maybe like 10, 15, 20 kids would pop out. Well, there's a lot of kids to come out and like see somebody. And not only was he like going up there like me and Chance used to do, we'd go up to these high schools and pass out CDs. That's how we got started. And Adam had mentioned that that's like one of the reasons why he started to do it. But what he was also doing that I loved is that he had the speaker and a microphone and he was coming to these schools and just performing.
Blasting the music.
Literally. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, dude, we should do a show. Like, you got this online presence and you got this IRL presence. We should do a show. So I set up a show for him at Sub T. This was like probably like about 2 years ago at this point. And he basically sold it out. Like literally like, but what was fucking crazy after that, and that's when I was like, oh, I gotta like manage Adam, is there were kids that no fucking cap were putting on social media back when this is like 60,000 followers, that they were sleeping outside of the venue. Like
for
for AdamnKilla for the night before.
So he built loyal fans.
Literally like the most loyal fans, like the most loyal shit that I've ever seen. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh, this isn't a knack. Like these people actually love Adam. And as I started to think about it deeper and like really look at, you know, what Adam does, he is pushing out, whether it's like funny, whether it's like shock content, like it's always positive and it's always funny and it makes you smile. I believe people put negative shit on the internet to get people to click on it and they monetize that, and I think that's something that happens in the news, in the rap industry, but with Adam, he has this natural creation that
making people
love.
laugh.
And I was like, dude, like I'm all about that. Like that's what I want to, you know, represent. That's what I want to support. And that's why I believe like he's gonna be the biggest artist in 2026 and in 2027. And he really, like I said, already is. We just gotta show people.
His idea is smart because he's always plugging in the music right at the end.
Literally.
Right? So he's creative with it too.
He's so creative.
That's another thing I feel like artists are, I'm not gonna say missing, but
they
as
are.
time goes on,
dude, I talk about it and I see it all the time. I feel like for Adam, not only did he end up blowing up off of, you know, various different songs on TikTok, but to your point, he figured out the formula to continuously do it for every song and also create a trend that people want to follow.
Right.
And he's doing it all independently. And I think that labels, I've seen it happen, where these artists blow up on social media and they do what they call try to transfer the streams to like a Spotify or an Apple. So they try to use this artist on content and tell them, oh, like my 18 million followers, like go listen to my blah, 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 blah. That shit does not work.
Right.
That shit doesn't work. So Adam has figured that shit out.
Yeah.
And it's been crazy to like see. Like he's just a genius.
I saw you were at the career day with the schools and stuff like that. Like you say, Chance the Rapper, bringing in $1 million to these schools. What does education mean to you guys?
I think education is extremely important, and I think it's really important that everybody gets, a equal education. There are schools that are broken, like in Chicago. Like a lot of my homies and friends, especially from my community, that like didn't venture out of my neighborhood out south from like 7th and 9th in these different spaces. There's a lot of historical reasons, like redlining in Chicago. During the Great Migration, a lot of black people moved north based off of racism and with the idea of trying to find a better living. And when they got to Chicago, they basically were met where they might have the money and the resources to live literally in the neighborhood that we're in right now. We're on the north side of Chicago.
Right.
They would have the resources and the money to live here, and when they would go to try to buy the house, literally the landlord as well as the representatives of the bank or lawyers would come to them and be like, hey, you can't live here, and the reason why you can't live here is because we don't allow black people to live in this proximity of Chicago.
Right.
So they forced black people all to the south and west sides. A lot of people don't know this history, which is why a lot of people talk shit about Chicago, but the politicians are fucked up here, and they've been fucked up here for a long time. But basically, they moved all these black people south and west, and they also cut a lot of the resources or things that were there currently. There are a lot of riots out south and out west in rebellion or in outrage to what had happened. After those fires, the government and the cities didn't reinvest that money. Black people had to build those stores up. So that's why there's a lot of like vacant space on the west side, vacant spaces on the south side. And since that point, they've continued to take resources and all types of things from those areas. So,
and it's you see this going on still to this day, right?
Literally. But I think the conversation and like subject points of truth is something that a lot of people, not just in Chicago, but in America and around the world, like have not come to fully accept. Until somebody is like down to walk into a room and be like, you know what? I know we've been living like this for a long time. This shit has been amazing. We love everything we've done, all this oil that we made, all this money we made, but we did kind of come over here and just take this shit.
Yeah.
There was people that was here already. And when they didn't want to be our slaves, we went and got some slaves.
Right.
And they built a lot of this shit. So we feel like we feel like it's about time that maybe we start giving this shit to them. Until somebody's ready to act like that or talk like that, I feel like it's hard to even really establish like what the actual changing points would be. Figuring out a way to provide not just like the resources in terms of like a park or some shit, but actually sending people that are trained in these different fields to educate people on their experience. And that's not hard. Like that is literally the people that like are like, cut the funding, cut the school shit. Like, no, dude, go talk to 500 kids and like tell them like about your job. Tell them like how you got to where you are. Like explain to them what you do. Like explain the importance. Like see if you could start some fucking, I don't know, league or club or some shit. Now the kids come out and like help you do your job and give their perspective on the things they want to see in their own neighborhood. Like it's just like, I don't know. One day I'm gonna be a politician because
I can see that passion in you. Like, it's not too, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, go for it. You know, chase your dreams. Everybody watching this can chase. You
gotta run for it.
Yeah, but genuinely though, I do see like the passion in you. Obviously, you're very well educated. The very first step, like to provide actions and all that, is like I think everybody just should educate themselves or bring maybe those higher ups as well, bring the truth more public. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think educate yourself and really have conversation, man, because I feel like the internet and shit, there's a lot of negative stuff. There's a lot of false things online. Like, you gotta fact check shit. I think just have conversation. Even the ability to research things and like look shit up on the internet and Google it makes it easier for somebody to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna ask this guy for directions. And maybe that dude was gonna be like, yo, some shit's going on like down that road. It's interesting, but perspective.
For sure. Taylor Bennett, I appreciate you coming on here.
Of course.
Time After Youth is coming out. Influencers coming out, both of them, May 8th.
Yes, sir. TBE, man. Time After Youth, May 8th. Influencer by AdamnKilla, May 8th. Let's get it. Appreciate you having me on the show, bro.
I appreciate you
coming.
Real
GOAT, man.
This was a great picnic.
I really want to work with you. I want to continue building with you, man. You're a super smart dude. I love your team, your organization. You guys were hungry. Even just this whole setup that you guys came out with tonight, like, this is fucking great. You wouldn't believe, dude. I work with, like, professional dudes. They come out and they're like, and it's like, whoa. And I'm talking about dudes that get paid, like, by the companies and shit. They suck. Yeah. So you're on your fucking way. You guys are fucking bosses. You got this shit. You're the GOAT, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Man. Appreciate you, brother.
May 8th.
May 8th. Let's get it.